You did it. You jumped in. You bought yourself a Husqvarna 522L trimmer. You were sick of the throwaway pieces of garbage that you pick up at the box store. You went to a servicing dealer. You got a high quality Husqvarna trimmer. Now you want to get the most out of it, right? You don't want to be throwing this thing away or bringing it in the shop in a year, 2, 3 years because you did something dumb. So let's go over this. How do we get the most out of this? Let's start with safety. I know that really doesn't have to do a lot with the life of the tool, but it has a lot to do with your comfort and your longevity of your vision and your hearing. So I always recommend earmuffs. I love these Husqvarna earmuffs. They've got a really good decibel sound reduction rating. So I may be talking really loud right now. That's because I can't hear myself, or maybe I'm talking too quiet. Okay, earmuffs, safety glasses. String trimmers, they throw stuff, right? They throw rocks, they throw grass, and it does not feel good to get whacked in the eye. Ultimate is something like this. Whoop. Face shield. This is a nice way to go. I still need to wear ear protection, but this protects my full face because taking a rock to the nose doesn't feel good. Taking a rock to your front tooth doesn't feel good. I don't know why I'm smiling when I'm weed eating, but when I'm out there weed eating, I must have a big grin on my face because I've been hitting the face in the tooth with a rock too many times, so now I wear that face shield. All right, let's get into it. This is a 2-cycle machine, so it's not like your lawnmower, right? You don't go to the station and throw some gas in and dump it in here. You do that, you're gonna be buying a new tool. So we got a couple ways that we can deal with our 2-cycle on mixed gas. First of all, we can buy these bottles. They make them in multiple sizes. We got 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 2.5 or 5 gallon, depending on the size of your fuel can. So 2.5 gallon to a 2.5 gallon can. Perfect. Always, always, always recommend an ethanol-free fuel if you can. If not, look to get a high octane fuel with a stabilizer, an ethanol treatment. If that isn't an option, or you don't run this machine a lot, you may want to check out this XP fuel. This is great. I've got a lot of customers that we deal with here at Carl's that probably go through a 1/2 gallon to 3/4 gallon a year. They just run this. It's gonna avoid so many problems. It's gonna make this thing start up so much easier. Also, hibernation. Come winter, right? October, November rolls around. You're not gonna be using this thing for several months. Put this in the tank, run it for a few minutes, and that means when you do that, you bring this out in March, it's gonna fire up, start easily. Okay, we know about fuel. Well, where does it go? It goes right here. Here's my cap. They've built something into this cap, some nice knobs that allow my hand to grip it, to grab it easily. Or if it's too tight, I can even fit a screwdriver in there to loosen it. So let's take that cap loose, put in my True Fuel, my XP fuel. Okay, so fuel is gonna go in there. Now we need to start it. We've got a primer hiding right here on the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, as the fuel starts coming into that squeaking, that whistling sound is gonna go away. You wanna make sure that you've sucked fuel out of the tank, up into the carburetor. I then pull up on the choke lever right here. Cool thing, this thing is always ready to start. This is a momentary kill switch. So I shut it off, but it returns to run. I usually hold it like this. Some people like to put it down on the ground and put their knee on it. You won't be able to see me if I do that. So I'm gonna pull this over 1, 2, and it's gonna start, or try to start. I'm now gonna push down on this blue choke lever. I'm gonna pull the rope again, come up again. I'm gonna pull the rope again, and it's gonna start. It's gonna be running at a 1/2 speed, so real quickly I'm gonna click the trigger. It's gonna allow it to idle down and start. So now it's running, it's ready to roll. I pull the trigger, vroom vroom, head spins. I go out, I whack some weeds. I'm ripping stuff up, things are flying. I got my safety glasses on, who cares? Uh-oh, I broke the line. I ran out of line. Whatever, I got too close to the rocks, too close to the fence, and I've either worn it out or I've broken it off. How do I take care of this? This is a bump head, so when I need trimmer line, hopefully I knew it was a bump head. When I need trimmer line, with it spinning at a high rate of speed, I bump it on the ground, and centrifugal force is gonna pull out a chunk of trimmer line. Now that works up till the line is about that long, you know, about 1.5 inches. Once it gets shorter than that, there's not enough pull to extend the line anymore. At which point in time I need to open this up and see what's going on. There's a tab right there and right there. So I usually come in like this and I push tab in and tab in. And all of this will come apart. Now I can set this aside. Let's take this apart. Let's see what we have. Slide the line up out of the sleeves. Now this, I don't need this right now. Put that on the table. If you have a bunch of trimmer line left in when you open it up, a couple things. One, you weren't bumping it often enough. Two, the trimmer line was old and so it welded together. Or three, maybe you just have a shape of trimmer line that doesn't like to feed well. So I always like a rounded trimmer line. Okay, let's take this apart. If it's empty, perfect. You did it right. You used up all the trimmer line. Good job. How do we load this up? I'm gonna take, I should probably use a trimmer line that's more visible. Black shirt, black spool, oh well. We'll figure it out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a lot of trimmer line. I'm pushing 25 plus feet probably there. Okay, I want to take the ends, I'm just creating a mess, which happens when you're rewinding what's been in there before. I want to take the ends like that, follow it to the middle. There's my middle, okay? I take that middle, and that middle has the hook right there, right there. Got it? Now, I can only wind one direction, right? I can pull that way, but if I pulled the other way, it's gonna slip out. Thank you, Husqvarna. You made this super easy. So I've got my middle loop, I hook it in, and I just simply wind. I'm feeding it between my thumb and my middle finger just to keep it flowing through there smooth. I go round and round and round, sucking in 25 plus feet worth of trimmer line. And round and round and round and round. Okay, remember I talked about age of trimmer line? These plastics, these polymers, over time, they start losing their moisture. And as that moisture level drops, this line becomes brittle, so it breaks off easier. As that moisture level drops, this line welds together easier, making it, its feeding characteristics not work as well, okay? So I try to buy fresh line. Try to buy, like if you don't go through a lot of line, maybe you're buying just a 50-foot roll or a half-a-pound roll every year. And keep it in the shed in the dark corner. Don't put it in the window, baking in the sun. And one other thing is some people will keep it in water, and that does tend to help keep it fresh and rejuvenated. When I get to the end, we're gonna call that the end. It's not quite the end. We're gonna call that the end. Now I'm going to lock them into place. Lock that one up. See that? I can go around 180 degrees and I can lock up the other side. So that's what I'm sitting with right now. Get this piece back in my hand. This has the eyelets or the sleeves, and they're not really eyelets. Eyelets, I'd have to feed them through. I can set that in and I can drop that side in and drop that side in, just like that. Back to my trimmer. Simply click it on, make sure it's in. Yes, it's good. It's good. And guess what? I got a little too much, so I'm usually gonna grab a pair of clippers. These work really well. Good to go. Start weed eating again. Tap it to feed while it's spinning. I can tap this all day. Keep tapping it, it won't do anything unless it's spinning, right? We need that centrifugal force, centrifugal pull. Maintenance. So we know about winding ahead. We got one other maintenance point right down here. You see that bolt head right there? That comes off. A 13 millimeter or a hex. An Allen wrench will take that off. I take this loose, screw it out. This should be done about every 50 hours. Okay, that comes out and I can put a needle tip greaser in there and I can grease this. If I don't grease it, I'll probably go 400 to 500 hours till I get a major failure. That's when it gets costly. So why not just grease it once a year? Once a year, take it apart, grease it. While you're down here, it's not a bad idea to make sure your other hardware is tight so you don't have something falling loose. Moving up. We know we got the always on stop switch. What about the top end? What maintenance do we got? We're running good oil, so we don't, or good fuel. Good fuel, so we don't need to worry about that. Our spark plug is hiding right under here, this little gray. I can pull that up. There's my spark plug, easy to get to. When you take that off, you want to kind of wiggle it off gently, because if you pull it off hard, you can rip this spark plug boot off. That ends up usually being a trip to the shop, to the repair shop. Let's save you that issue. Air filter, easy to get to. 1, 2, 3, a bunch of spins on this knob. I take off this cover, and you'll see I have a nice large capacity for a string trimmer, for a weed eater. If my fingernails were a little longer, I could get it out. A nice large capacity felt filter, and then still on the inside is a foam filter. So both of those are gonna mean that we get clean air into this machine to get maximum engine life. There we go, the Husqvarna 522L, great, lightweight, powerful machine, fairly easy maintenance. If you take care of your gas, if you take care of your air filter, you throw a new spark plug in once in a while, you're gonna get years and years and years out of this machine. I probably missed something. Guess what? It came with an owner's manual. Not a bad idea to open it up, review it, learn what you can to get the most out of the 522L Husqvarna trimmer. Hey, this is Josh from Carl's Mower and Saw. Thanks for watching our videos. We're proud of the fact that we've been serving you with the best in outdoor power equipment since 1990. We're glad that you had an opportunity to sit down, watch our videos, learn something about an exciting new product that we have, something that interests you for your property, or really how to use your equipment to the best of its ability. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. We're excited to share more information with you. See you soon.